Have you ever stopped to wonder if walking is really the best exercise for you as you get older? For decades, it's been considered the go-to activity for seniors. After all, it's simple, it's free, and you don't need a gym or special equipment. Many people over 65 rely on walking as their main way of staying active. But here's something most folks never think about. Walking isn't always the most effective or joint-friendly option. In fact, there are other types of movement that can give you far greater benefits, protect your joints, and leave you feeling more energized than ever. If you ever found yourself wondering why your body still feels stiff or tired after regular walks, it might not be you. It might be the limitations of walking itself. Now, don't get me wrong. Walking is better than doing nothing. It gets your blood flowing, helps with weight management, and keeps you moving. But not all movement is created equal. Some exercises go deeper. They work muscles walking never touches, improve balance in ways walking can't, and build strength that simply strolling around the block won't provide. So if you've ever asked yourself, is walking enough? Then the answer might surprise you. Today, I'm going to share 5 powerful alternatives to walking that can transform the way you feel and move as you age. Stick with me until the very end, because you might discover a routine that not only feels better on your joints, but also completely changes the way you think about exercise. Let's start with one of the most joint-friendly, full-body options out there, moving in water. If you've ever stepped into a swimming pool, you've probably noticed how light your body feels. That's because the buoyancy of water supports your weight, reducing the strain on your knees, hips, and lower back. And that single factor alone makes water exercise one of the best alternatives to walking, especially for older adults who experience stiffness, arthritis, or just don't enjoy pounding the pavement anymore. The beauty of water-based exercise is that you don't need to be a strong swimmer to benefit. Swimming laps is wonderful, yes, but even something as simple as walking back and forth in waist-deep water, moving your arms in circles, or jogging gently in place can activate muscles in ways walking on land simply can't. Every movement you make in water encounters natural resistance. It's like strength training and cardio rolled into one, without the risk of high-impact damage. I remember hearing about George, a retired engineer who loved his daily walks. He was 72, healthy for the most part, but over time his knees started to ache. He pushed through the discomfort for months until eventually it became clear that long walks were doing more harm than good. A friend suggested water aerobics at the local community center. Skeptical at first, George gave it a try. Within weeks, he noticed his flexibility improving, his strength returning, and best of all, his knee pain decreasing. What surprised him most was the boost in energy he felt afterward, something he hadn't gotten from walking. He even started sleeping better at night. For him, water exercise wasn't just a replacement. It became a whole new lifestyle. One of the biggest reasons water exercise is so valuable as we age is balance. Falls are one of the greatest risks for seniors, and walking, while helpful, doesn't actively train the stabilizing muscles that keep you steady. In water, every shift of movement challenges your balance, but in a safe way. If you lose your footing, you don't crash down on a hard surface. Instead, the water gently supports you, giving you a chance to regain your composure. This makes the pool a perfect environment to practice balance without the fear of falling. Imagine moving your legs in different directions, practicing gentle kicks, or even doing slow marching steps in chest-deep water. Every movement works your core, hips, and stabilizers, which in turn improves the way you walk and move outside the pool. It's no wonder physical therapists recommend water therapy for older adults recovering from surgery or injuries. It's safe, effective, and adaptable. If you have access to a pool, whether it's a community gym, a local recreation center, or even in your backyard, it's worth giving water exercise a try. Even 20 minutes twice a week can make a noticeable difference. And the best part? It doesn't feel like a chore. Many seniors describe water workouts as refreshing, almost playful, like rediscovering the joy of moving freely without pain. But of course, not everyone has access to a pool, and some people simply prefer exercising at home. That brings me to the second alternative, one that's not only accessible but absolutely essential as you get older: strength training. Here's the reality. Walking is good for your heart and your legs, but it doesn't do much to fight one of the biggest challenges of aging: muscle loss. After the age of 30, We start losing muscle mass little by little, and by the time we reach our 60s and 70s, that loss becomes much more noticeable. This condition, called sarcopenia, is one of the leading reasons older adults lose independence. Think about it. If your muscles aren't strong enough to lift a bag of groceries, climb a flight of stairs, or even get up out of a chair, your world slowly shrinks. And here's the key point. Walking alone won't rebuild that strength. Strength training will. Now, I know the term strength training can sound intimidating, especially if you picture bodybuilders with heavy barbells. But the truth is, you don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to get results. Resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even just your own body weight are more than enough to maintain and rebuild strength. The goal isn't to bulk up. It's to keep your body strong, steady, and capable. Simple exercises can make a world of difference. Seated leg lifts strengthen your thighs and hips, helping you rise from a chair with ease. Wall push-ups build arm and chest strength, making everyday tasks like carrying laundry or pushing open a heavy door easier. Squats, whether done fully or by simply standing up and sitting down repeatedly from a chair, work your legs and core, boosting balance and preventing falls. Let's talk about Linda, a 68-year-old grandmother who loved her daily walks around the park. Over time, though, she noticed something troubling. Her balance wasn't what it used to be. She stumbled more often and started feeling anxious about falling. Her doctor suggested adding some strength exercises a couple of times a week. At first, Linda started with resistance bands, doing simple arm curls and leg presses while sitting. Gradually, she added bodyweight squats and light dumbbell presses. Within 3 months, the changes were dramatic. She felt stronger, her posture improved, and most importantly, she regained confidence in her movements. Walking was still part of her routine, but strength training gave her the stability and independence she thought she was losing forever. Strength training doesn't just help your muscles. It also strengthens your bones. As we age, bone density naturally decreases, raising the risk of fractures. Weight-bearing exercises, even light ones, stimulate bone growth and keep them stronger for longer. If your doctor has ever mentioned osteoporosis or thinning bones, adding resistance exercises could be one of the best things you do for your long-term health. The best part is that strength training can be tailored to your comfort level. You don't need to spend hours on it. Even 15 to 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week, is enough to see improvements. The key is consistency and starting slow. Over time, those little efforts build up into a body that not only feels younger but functions better. So, as you can see, walking has its benefits, but it also has limits. By exploring alternatives like water-based workouts and strength training, you're giving yourself tools to protect your joints, improve your balance, and maintain independence. And here's something most people don't realize. Mixing up your exercises is actually better than sticking to one routine. Different forms of movement challenge your body in different ways, which means you're covering all the bases: strength, flexibility, endurance, and balance. Have you ever seen a group of people in the park moving slowly, almost like they're dancing in slow motion? At first glance, it may look simple, but what they're doing is one of the most powerful forms of exercise for older adults. Tai Chi, or its close cousin, Qigong. These ancient practices from China focus on slow, controlled motions, deep breathing, and balance. They're gentle, joint-friendly, and surprisingly effective in ways walking alone can't match. Here's the truth. As we age, balance becomes one of the most important skills to maintain. Falling is a serious concern for seniors, often leading to broken bones or long recoveries. Walking helps with general mobility, yes, but it doesn't really train those small, stabilizing muscles that keep us steady. Tai Chi and Qigong do exactly that. Every movement requires you to shift your weight, control your breathing, and hold your posture, all of which strengthen your balance and coordination. And the benefits don't stop there. Practicing these slow-flowing routines engages your whole body, not just your legs. You're working your core, your arms, and even your mind. Because the movements are so intentional, you have to focus. That mental focus is calming, almost meditative, helping to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve mental clarity. For many people, Tai Chi isn't just exercise. It becomes a form of moving meditation. Take Richard, a 74-year-old retired teacher. He used to walk every morning, but he noticed stiffness in his hips and sometimes dizziness when turning too quickly. A neighbor invited him to a Tai Chi class in the park. At first, Richard felt awkward, unsure of how slow movements could possibly count as exercise. But he stuck with it. Within weeks, his dizziness improved. Within months, he felt steadier on his feet, more flexible, and more relaxed than he had in years. For him, Tai Chi wasn't just exercise, it was life-changing. The beauty of Tai Chi and Qigong is accessibility. You don't need special equipment, and you can do it almost anywhere, in your living room, backyard, or at a local class. Even a few minutes a day can make a difference. If you're curious but unsure where to start, there are countless beginner-friendly videos online that guide you through the basics. The key is consistency. Slow, gentle practice over time adds up to incredible results. Now, let's shift gears to another alternative that's fantastic for your joints while still giving your heart and legs a solid workout. Cycling. Walking is great, but let's be honest, it can sometimes feel hard on the knees, hips, and lower back, especially on hard pavement. Cycling takes away that impact. Whether you're on a stationary bike at home, a recumbent bike with back support, or even a regular outdoor bicycle, cycling gives you a smooth, low-impact way to move. Because your weight is supported by the seat, there's far less stress on your joints compared to pounding the sidewalk. The benefits of cycling are wide-ranging. First, it's excellent for cardiovascular health. It gets your blood pumping, lowers blood pressure, and helps keep your heart strong. Doctors often recommend it as a safe, heart-friendly exercise because it builds endurance without overstraining your body. Second, it's a powerful leg workout. While walking mainly engages your calves and some thigh muscles, cycling activates your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes in a much more dynamic way. Stronger legs mean better mobility and more independence in daily life. And here's another perk. Cycling can be adjusted to your comfort. If you're just starting out or worried about balance, a stationary or recumbent bike is a perfect option. If you're more confident, you can gradually increase resistance for a tougher workout. And for those who love the outdoors, a gentle bike ride on smooth paths is a wonderful way to stay active while enjoying fresh air and scenery. Let me share Barbara's story. She's 70 and always enjoyed long walks, but her knees started giving her trouble. She didn't want to give up being active, so she tried a stationary bike at her local gym. At first, she could only manage 10 minutes, but she stuck with it, adding a couple of minutes each week. Before long, she was cycling 30 minutes at a time, 3 times a week. Not only did her knee pain decrease, but she also felt more energized, her blood pressure improved, and she noticed her legs becoming stronger. Cycling gave her a way to keep moving without discomfort, and it quickly became her favorite form of exercise. Cycling also has a mental benefit many people overlook: rhythm. The steady motion of pedaling creates a calming, meditative rhythm, almost like rocking back and forth. For many, it reduces stress and anxiety while providing a sense of accomplishment. Combine that with the health benefits, and it's easy to see why cycling is one of the best walking alternatives out there. Here's the takeaway. Walking has value, but it's not the whole picture. Tai Chi, Qigong, and cycling add dimensions that walking alone can't. Tai Chi gives you balance, flexibility, and peace of mind. Cycling builds endurance, strengthens your heart, and protects your joints. Together, they help you stay active in ways that feel good and sustainable. If you're watching this and thinking, maybe walking isn't enough for me anymore, you're not alone. Many people discover in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s that their bodies crave something different. The key is not to give up, but to adjust. Movement is medicine, and the right type of movement can change how you feel every single day. If you found this helpful so far, let me know by commenting balance below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the final part of this series, where we'll explore even more options to keep you moving freely and feeling strong as you age. When we think of exercise, many people picture running shoes, dumbbells, or maybe even a yoga mat rolled out on the floor. But the truth is, some of the most effective exercises for older adults don't require any of that. In fact, one of the best ways to keep your body moving well into your 70s, 80s, and even 90s can be done with something you already have in your home: a chair. Chair yoga and gentle stretching routines are among the most underrated forms of exercise for seniors. They don't look flashy. They won't leave you dripping in sweat. But they do something much more important. They keep your body flexible, reduce stiffness, and help you move through daily life with ease. Walking can't always do that. Walking strengthens your legs and helps your heart. Yes, but it doesn't do much for flexibility, posture, or joint mobility. That's where stretching and chair-based movements shine. Let's start with a story. Charles, a 75-year-old widower, began noticing he was stiff in the mornings. His shoulders ached, his lower back felt tight, and he often found himself hunching forward without realizing it. Walkington saw these issues. In fact, some days it made his back feel worse. On the advice of his daughter, he tried a chair yoga class at his community center. At first, he thought, this is too simple. Just stretching? But within a few weeks of doing seated twists, shoulder rolls, and deep breathing, he felt a huge change. His mornings no longer started with stiffness. His posture improved, and for the first time in years, he could reach above his head without strain. This is the power of stretching. It unlocks movement that aging tries to take away. Muscles naturally tighten as we get older, and joints lose some of their natural lubrication. That's why bending over, tying your shoes, or even turning your head to check for traffic can feel harder over time. Stretching slows down that process. It lengthens the muscles, improves circulation, and allows you to move more freely. One of the biggest benefits of chair yoga is safety. Many older adults worry about balance or overexertion. With a chair beneath you, there's no fear of falling. You can sit and stretch or use the chair for support while standing. Either way, you get the movement your body needs in a safe, controlled way. It's gentle, but that doesn't mean it's ineffective. Even simple stretches like lifting your arms overhead, rotating your ankles, or doing a seated forward bend can make everyday tasks feel easier. And here's something else. Stretching and chair yoga aren't just about physical benefits. They also help reduce stress and promote relaxation. Deep breathing paired with gentle movement calms the nervous system, lowers blood pressure, and helps release tension that builds up in the body. Many seniors report that after a short chair yoga session, they not only feel loose in their bodies, but also calmer in their minds. Take Helen, for example. She's 69, and after losing her husband, she struggled with stress and sleepless nights. Walking didn't ease her racing thoughts, so she joined a small chair yoga group at her church. To her surprise, the slow stretches and breathing exercises helped her feel centered again. Within weeks, her sleep improved. She described it not just as exercise, but as therapy for both her body and her emotions. If you never tried stretching or chair yoga, here's the good news. You don't need to be flexible to start. In fact, the less flexible you feel, the more you'll benefit. Think of it like oiling a squeaky door hinge. The more you move gently and consistently, the smoother everything works. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We've covered water-based exercise, strength training, tai chi, cycling, and chair yoga. 5 different alternatives to walking, each with unique benefits. Water protects your joints while giving you a full-body workout. Strength training helps you stay independent by preventing muscle and bone loss. Tai chi and qigong improve balance and mental clarity. Cycling builds endurance and strengthens the heart while being easy on the knees. Chair yoga and stretching keep you limber and relaxed, ready to handle daily life. So what's the lesson here? Walking is good, but relying on it alone is like eating only one type of food every day. Your body needs variety. Different forms of exercise target different systems: muscles, bones, joints, heart balance, and even your mind. When you combine them, you create a strong foundation for aging well. But here's something important to remember. You don't need to do them all at once. The best routine is the one you'll stick with. Maybe you start with chair yoga because it feels easiest. Maybe you try water aerobics once a week if you have pool access. Maybe you add light resistance bands while watching TV. Small changes done consistently are more powerful than grand plans that fizzle out. Let me share one last story. Marion, 82, had always considered herself too old to start new exercises. She figured walking around her block was enough, but she still felt weak, stiff, and tired most of the time. Her granddaughter encouraged her to try just 10 minutes of stretching each morning, nothing more. Marion reluctantly agreed. Fast forward 6 months. Not only was she doing her morning stretches daily, but she had also joined a beginner Tai Chi class and started cycling on a recumbent bike at her senior center. She felt stronger, stood taller, and had fewer aches. For Marion, the realization was simple. Age wasn't stopping her. Inactivity was. That's the message I want you to take away today. Aging doesn't mean slowing down until you stop. It means finding smarter, gentler ways to keep moving. You may not run marathons anymore, but you can still build strength, improve balance, and enjoy life with less pain and more freedom. So, as we wrap up, I invite you to reflect. Which of these alternatives speaks to you the most? Is it the calm flow of Tai Chi, the joint-friendly joy of water exercise, the heart boost of cycling, or the relaxing stretches of chair yoga? Pick one and start this week. Even 10 minutes can make a difference. And don't forget, movement isn't punishment. It's a gift. Every time you stretch, lift, pedal, or breathe deeply, you're giving your body the chance to stay vibrant, mobile, and alive. Exercise isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. If this video has inspired you, let me know in the comments which exercise you're excited to try first. And if you found value in this series, please subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Together, we can redefine what healthy aging looks like. Not with fear or limitation, but with strength, confidence, and joy. Because the truth is, growing older doesn't mean giving up. It means discovering new ways to thrive. And with these alternatives to walking, you have everything you need to keep moving forward, one strong, confident step at a time.